Hello and welcome to the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball Show, brought to you by Gameface. I'm Adam Miller, and once again alongside me in the studio is Steph Barkers. Good afternoon, Steph.
Good afternoon, Aidan. Another massive weekend across our competition. Surprising results, exciting results, and we are getting closer and closer to finals.
Just over a month away, looking forward to all that action. So coming up in this episode, we'll bring you all the latest news from across our competition.
We have game day interviews with Warburton Millgrove's Ally Langdon and Ben Pretty, plus Warburton Wesburn's Gabby and Emerson Woods.
We reflect on last week's match of the round results between Warburton, Millgrove and Seville, and give you a preview to this week's match of the round between Wandon and Alinda Ferny Creek.
Fantasy football and netball is back. We are now choosing some players for our interchange bench in the footy, and we're going to choose our goalkeeper in the netball.
And of course, a huge thank you to Pedders Suspension and Breaks, our partner for the 2025 Outer East Football Netball Show.
Well, making news this week, first and foremost, we have massive news. Warburton Wesburn's Scarlett Henderson has just broken the record for the most goals scored in a single season by an OEFN women's player. So she reached a total of 47 over the weekend after she kicked 7 goals against Seville. There's still 5 home and away matches to go. So a massive achievement from Scarlett. Who knows what she'll get to by the end of the season. And yeah, congratulations. That is amazing. What
a year it's been for goal kickers in the Outer East, Steph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, it's TAC Road Safety Round next weekend, with clubs encouraged to wear blue armbands available in your TAC Club packs to support and promote road safety. This year's taglines, that'll be the difference. And to show off for your team, slow down the road, clubs who sign up for the TAC Rewards program are also eligible to apply for funding of up to $10,000. So if you wear armbands, put up posters, make social posts, make sure your photos and screenshots that you upload with your applications. For more information or help with applications, please reach out to Brendan at development@outereastfn.com.au.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I want to talk about some more, like we did last week, some more exciting results from the weekend. I want to kick it off. Monbulk get the win over Upwey Tacoma with a goal after the siren from Lockie Beecroft.
Yeah, it was very interesting, that one, Steph. Upwey Tacoma led that game all day, and Monbulk finally kind of get one back after a couple of losses after the siren, both to Mount Evelyn, of course, and they've had some heartbreak and some close games recently, so they do get one to go their way. An important win just to keep a bit of a gap on Mount Evelyn, who weren't too far away from them in terms of the top 5. Another shock result actually probably was Officer beating Mount Evelyn as well. They've really come into a bit of form, have the Kangaroos. Of course, they knocked off Woori Alec last week, and a win that probably hurts Mount Evelyn a bit in terms of trying to sneak back into the top 5.
Absolutely. Well, I also want to talk about this one, and Adam will be devastated he's not here because he's the only one out of all of us that got this right.
Yep.
Warburton Millgrove's A-grade side and Seville's undefeated streak on the weekend.
Exactly right. We'll reflect on that a little bit later, Steph, but that was also another shock result through the weekend, a really good match of the round. As we've said plenty of times, they're just always playing close games, those two, and it was exactly the same on Saturday.
Absolutely, it was a great one. And of course, in women's footy, Warburton Wesburn in Division 2 and Mount Evelyn in Division 1 still remain undefeated. So the question is becoming, can anyone stop their streak before the end of the home and away season?
Who knows,
I'm not sure, but we'll see. Our last piece of news for this week, you may have seen it on socials already, but we wanted to put it out there again. Yarra Glen's senior football coach, Jason DeGraff, is heading to the Northern Territory in October. He's going to be running some footy clinics up there for First Nations communities, and he's looking for donations, so footy equipment, footy clothing, that kind of thing. So if you or your club can contribute, please reach out to Jason via email or Instagram, and he'll arrange to pick up all those items before he heads there in October. Over now to our Yarra Valley Water Juniors Corner for an update on our junior competitions. Our final interleague matches were played on Sunday at Crib Point against MP JFL. So we'd like to say a huge thank you to all the coaches, team managers and trainers for their dedication and support in guiding our players to learn, improve and also, most importantly, have fun.
To our parents and guardians, who are our players' biggest supporters, thank you for bringing them to trainings and game days and cheering loudly from the sidelines.
To our special guests at Jumper Presentation Nights, Georgia Knight and Cody Anderson, who gave up their time to offer advice to our players and to give insights into the football pathway. Thank you so much.
Last but certainly not least, to our players, we are so proud of you and the way you've represented OEFN. Thank you for giving it your all.
Match of the round. Let's first and foremost reflect on our tips between Warburton Millgrove and Seville. So I think we all tipped Warby for the footy,
yes,
you and Adam. Yep. So we got that one right. Adam is the only one who got the netball right, tipping Warby. We both went with Seville. But give me a wrap-up of both those games.
Yeah, we'll start with the netball. I don't believe in, excuses with injuries, but Seville's injury toll is starting to become quite considerable, and I think it did probably affect them a little bit on Saturday. But don't want to discredit Warburton Millgrove at all. They played a fantastic game of netball, and they have got a couple of injuries themselves. So it's not to say that they aren't also having their depth challenged. Really close game in the first quarter. Warby really took it away in the second and third quarters. Probably late in the third when Indy Pinnock went down, that probably allowed Seville to get themselves back into the game. We saw Carly Warburton again go into goal defence. We actually saw that last time when we called those two. So we've seen it a couple of times where she's played down in defence. I think that was a moment of the game when Seville started to come back. They trailed by 9 goals in the third quarter, but they were able to get themselves back in front in the last quarter. Warby ultimately kind of found their nerve. They were able to reshuffle things around a little bit, get Carly back into goals where she plays probably her best netball. But yeah, no, it was a really good performance by both teams. Warby getting the win, and as we did mention earlier, it's Seville's undefeated run coming to an end. So will be interesting to see if they can get some of those players back, because Alexis Tucker, she did go down with an injury early days. Genesis Foster-Johnson didn't play. No Hayley Ray, no Olivia Ray. So some pretty big names in there not playing. So that's, it's going to be an interesting one for Seville if they can get those players back in time for finals. Not really too sure. Heading across to the footy, that I reckon could just about be the game of the season so far, Steph. We've seen some pretty good games, but it was a shootout. It was high scoring. Lots on the line for both teams. Warburton and Millgrove were able to claim top spot on the ladder. Also with another shock result we didn't mention earlier between the game between Belgrave and Pakenham. So that game did allow Warburton to go on top. Again, I think Seville were just playing catch-up a lot of the day, but every time it looked like Warby were going to get away from them, they always just had a response. Lockie Hewitt was really good. He kicked 3 goals in the afternoon. Bailey Humphrey, I believe, kicked 3 as well. Ryan Farrow was fantastic. He had to step in to go into the ruck with no Jack Nolan playing. He also kicked 4 goals. He had a Colossus day. He was absolutely fantastic. I really like Ben Pretty's performance in the back line for Warby Millgrove. He was really good. Nathan O'Keefe coming back into the side was really quite good. Played up the ground a little bit more. Kicked a fantastic goal with a torpedo. You don't see too many barrels these days, but it just launched one from 55 and it just went and went. So it was just such an entertaining game. It was free-flowing, really good skill level. And yeah, Warby come away with the win. And as I mentioned, they do go back on top of the ladder. So at a really crucial stage of the season. Yeah.
Also, not to mention that all the pre-match ceremony they did around First Nations round, which I know other clubs did as well, but obviously Warby was where we were. Banners, the didgeridoo performance, the acknowledgement of country, their jumpers, everything. They just kind of went next level with it. I thought it was great, everything that they did, and really respectful. And yeah, what an awesome day. Both games, all the ceremony, just a really fun day out, really.
No, it most certainly was, Steph.
Well, time now for our match of the round preview for this weekend, which is Wandon versus Olinda Ferny Creek.
Sometimes they say the bark is worse than the bite, but that's not been the case for the Bulldogs this year. And this week, an old rivalry is rekindled in the netball. These two teams have faced off in finals and grand finals in seasons past and know each other well. In the footy, it's a top-of-the-table clash, 1 versus 2. And we can't forget, Wandon's Aaron Mullett looms, ready to kick goal 100 for the season. Wandon, they can bark and bite, but Olinda Ferny Creek are out for blood and they can bleed you dry. We all know both clubs will leave everything out there this weekend. It's the Rochford match of the round.
Really excited for these ones. Obviously, plenty going on. An old rivalry rekindled from the netball. They played a lot of finals and grand finals against each other, these two sides. And of course, a 1 versus 2 in the footy, and Aaron Mullett potentially kicking 100 on the weekend.
There is a lot at stake, Steph. Last time the two sides played was back in round 5 of this season. Wandon won that game by 54 points, 19 goals, 721, defeated Olinda Ferny Creek 10-7-67. As you mentioned, coming into it this time around, Wandon are top of the ladder with a 12-1 record, recently recorded their first loss against Monbulk just 2 weeks ago. Olinda Ferny Creek are second on the ladder with an 11-2 record. The 2 losses, though, have come to Wandon and Woorolloc third on the ladder. So good opportunity, I think, for Olinda Ferny Creek to prove that they really are a genuine top 3 side. This is a good opportunity for them this week. Some of the key matchups, I think in the midfield, I'm looking for Chase Black. He's averaging 24 disposals this season at 70% disposal efficiency with 10 contested possessions and 8 ground ball gets. Head-to-head with Peter Lucas, who's averaging 23 disposals this season, also with 10 contested, 6 clearances and 8 score involvement. So first real chance we get a look at Olinda Ferny Creek this year. So Peter Lucas, definitely one of those players that I'm looking out for. Down both ends of the ground, Lewin Jones, I think, goes head-to-head with Noah Desta, who's Olinda Ferny Creek's leading goal kicker with 25 goals. And This one might not necessarily happen, but I'd love to see it. I think this could be such a juicy matchup. Matt Scharenberg potentially head-to-head with Aaron Mullett. He's got 98 goals this season. Could he be the man who maybe gets a hold of him? His lowest haul to this point is 5 goals in a game, Aaron Mullett, which, you'd be pretty happy if your worst haul was 5 goals in the season. He is obviously eyeing off the 100 goals, so, will we see it on the weekend? You imagine we probably will, but maybe Matt Scharenberg might be the man to hold it off for a week. So I think that's going to be a really, really good game. Going across to the netball, of course, just like the footy, the last time the two sides played was round 5 of this season. Wandon won that game pretty convincingly. 60 goals to 38 was the final score in that game. And coming into it this time around, Wandon are second with an 11-2 record. Alinda Ferny Creek are 6th with a 5-8 record. So one spot outside that top 5. 3.5 wins behind Wirialik, who are currently in 5th. So for Alinda Ferny Creek, really high stakes because they just need to keep winning games. They do need to rely on a couple of results to go their way, though, as well. But it is pretty simple for them. Just keep winning games if you want to give yourself a chance of playing finals. It's pretty simple. A couple of head-to-head matchups. I think through the mid-court, this will be a really good one. I reckon Carly Dolphin head-to-head with Soph Hennessy has obviously come across to Alinda Ferny Creek this season. So again, just like in the footy, first chance we really get to look at Alinda Ferny Creek. Rhiannon Fraser, big job on Amalia Blake, who's the equal top goal scorer in Premier Division with 557 goals. Always a tough task. And we've also seen Eloise Argoon, who usually plays down in defence. She's actually moved into goals the last month, and she's got 97 goals in the last 4 games, I think, since she's gone into goals. And she's going to go head-to-head with Ruby Tidd. You imagine always a tough matchup, that one. So looking forward to a couple of interesting games.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much looking forward to it. And can I just say, Amalia Blake and Perry Reid from Monbulk. This is now the second time this season that they are level for the amount of goals they've scored. And they are once again fighting for that top goal scorer spot. But to be there twice, what are the chances?
No, exactly right, Steph. Very, very low. So, no, it shows just the quality of the two players for sure.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to our tips. Let's start off with the footy.
I'm going to go with Wandon for the footy.
Do you know what? I am going to go Alinda for the upset.
Yep.
But I think Aaron will get his 100, but I do think that in the end, Alinda will win the game. And who's going to go for the netball?
I'm going to go with Wandon for the netball as well.
I'll agree with you there. I think, I'm going to go with Wandon for that one as well, but still some very interesting matchups to watch on the weekend, of course.
Definitely.
Don't forget as well, this week's Local Footy Hub match, exclusive to Local Footy Hub subscribers, is Jembrook Cockatoo versus Officer.
Also, this week's filmed women's football match is going to be between Seville and Officer.
Okay, before we move on, let's take a look at our community predictions because we always love to know what you guys think. So first and foremost, the footy match of the round between Wandon and Alinda Ferny Creek.
The netball match of the round between Wandon and Alinda Ferny Creek.
The local footy hub match between Jembrook Cockatoo and Officer.
And the women's filmed match between Seville and Officer.
Since 1950, Pedders have understood that every customer's journey is different, but our solution remains the same, to get you where you want to go as safely as possible. We believe it's not just the destination that matters, but also the journey, and we are committed to creating better journeys for everyone.
Our first guest on the Adelaide Show this week was Ben Pretty from Warburton Millgrove. Well, I'm joined by Ben Pretty from Warburton Senior Footy side after a terrific match of the round win over Seville. And Ben, what a thrill of a game that was.
Yeah, it was an absolute belter. Obviously, I just want to say, first of all, our sincerest condolences as a club to Seville for young Jackson Lowe. And we're thinking of his family this week. To be honest, we weren't really sure if the boys would even get up. And, yeah, they obviously got up for him. They put up a massive fight for him. And, yeah, our sincerest condolences to them for what's happened.
No, very well said there, Ben. It was a really big game, of course, 2nd v 3rd on the ladder. What were some of the tactics spoken about coming into it?
We just spoke about that. Look, at times we've felt like the hunters in previous years after making the grand final last year. We know that teams are going to hunt us. They're going to come at us with physical pressure. Just all about absorbing that. We're not a young team anymore. We're not the sort of baby-faced kids that we were 2 years ago. So we want to take that next step up and battle it out for a flag. That's the ultimate goal.
Yep. It was a really big job in particular for the back line today, mate, coming up against guys like Dominic Lloyd, Josh Neal, Nathan O'Keefe. What was something that you guys spoke about trying to negate their influence?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of big boys down there, but there's also a lot of fleet-footed young guys. We want to make sure that when we kill the contest, we're killing it out the front. We don't want to let them get goals out the back. Obviously, they're good enough that those little fellas, Mason O'Neill, Aspen O'Neill, and those fellas, they get out the back and they kick a few quick goals, but it's all just about trying to halt momentum and just stop them as best as we can. You're never going to completely nullify them, but yeah, just do our best best job we can.
Yep. Speaking about momentum, they really seem to gain that in the late parts of the last quarter. How were you able to wrestle it back in the last and get the win?
Yeah, we spoke about, obviously, the pressure's going to come. We're playing good teams. They're going to put the heat on you at times. It's just about trying to retain a bit of pressure, retain possession, just keep a hold of it. Don't lose your head. So, as I said, we were pretty young a couple of years ago, but we consider ourselves a matured team now, and it's about standing up in those moments. And that's the type of thing we want to do, is we want to be able to hold on in games like that, and not just hold on, like let's get goals to finish off the game.
Ben, you just seem to be picking everything off today. Every time Seville went inside forward 50, you just seem to be right there. Is that a role that's sort of been spoken about for yourself, as playing that sort of interceptor?
Somewhat, yeah. The boys give me a bit of stick about guarding grass and never manning up. But look, that's my job, is to try and help them out as best as I can. If there's a big fella down there, I'll obviously go to them. But yeah, I just want to get around the boys and help them as best as we can, because I like to think we're a strong unit back there. It's all about working for one another, and that's what we try to do every week.
No, I thought you did a fantastic job today, mate. It was a great win. Ben, thank you so much for joining us, mate.
No worries.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Our next guest is Ally Langdon, A-grade player at Warburton Millgrove.
I'm joined by Ally Langdon of Warburton Millgrove's A-grade side after a crucial victory over Seville. Ally must be very happy with that performance against the top of the table side.
Yes, definitely. I think we're very proud of the fact that they came out firing in that third quarter and we were able to compose ourselves in that last quarter to come back with the win. So obviously they're a really talented side across the whole court, and they are missing a few players. And really proud of the girls for adapting when Indy went down. So a few out of position, but still got the job done.
Went down to them just the last time you played them back in round 4. What were some of the learnings from that game that helped you get the win today?
Yeah, I think obviously we've sort of built ourselves a nice rivalry, I'd say, from all of our games last year. So, they're a very strong, like I said, overall team. They do have a very strong, defensive full court sort of press that they play. So it was just about us making sure we've got 2 drives to every ball and converting from our turnovers as well in a defence.
Going back to what you mentioned about some players having to go out of position due to a couple of injuries, is that something that you face much this season? Some players having to play out of position?
Yes, we definitely have had multiple players playing out of position this year, myself included. I think it's been quite fun because we've all been able to adapt quickly to the changes we've had to make. Obviously missing a few girls, we've lacked consistency throughout this whole season with our team, but we've all been able to fill the gaps where we need to and step up when the time's important. One
of the big matchups was against Taylor Werner, who's second in goals for Premier Division. What were some of the plans for you two in trying to negate her influence?
Yeah, obviously Taylor's a really talented goaler and she's got lots of experience in the VNL as well. So matching up against her, we knew it was going to be a challenge. She's extremely accurate. So I think just making sure that Indy and I stuck to our game plan and our processes, making sure that we're covering the shoulders, turning and blocking, all those basics. If we execute them, we knew we were going to turn over ball, and yeah.
How were you able to wrestle back the momentum in that last quarter when they regained the lead? Because you were controlling the game for most of it, but they really did come strong in that third and early in the last quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are a very patient team, and when we play our best netball, we are playing patiently. So it was just making sure that no matter how many passes it took, we were working it down to the circle edge and feeding our goalers from on the circle edge as well. We're not a team that's afraid to reset any passes, so we'll reset as many balls as we need to until we're confident that our goalers can work it to post.
Ally, you've also been playing with our community partner, the North East Players in the VNL, for the last couple of years. How have you liked your opportunity playing with them? Yeah,
I'm really lucky to have been with them, I think, for the last 5 years now. Obviously led by really extremely experienced coaches in Kate and Ella. They've taken my game to another level, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity that I've been given.
How do you go about balancing the workload between playing VNL as well as outer east netball?
Yeah, it's always fun bringing things that I learn from VNL to Warby and sharing my knowledge that I an experience that I get through that. I try and balance it out, and yeah.
As mentioned, it was a really crucial performance today. What were some of the messages coming into today's game up against Seville?
Yeah, obviously we knew it was going to be a challenge to come into it. I don't think we were too concerned about what the final score was. Unfortunately, the last few weeks we probably lacked consistency playing four-quarter games. So I think that our sort of team goal was just to make sure that we were playing those 4 quarters. And I think probably for 3 out of the 4 quarters we did play a consistent game. It was just that third one. So probably taking into next week, making sure we've got those 4 strong quarters.
Ally, thank you so much for joining us and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
And lastly, we also had a chat with Emerson and Gabby Woods from Warburton Wesburn.
Joined by Gabby and Emerson Woods of Warburton Wesburn's senior women's side after another dominant display, 131-point victory over Seville. Girls must be very happy with another strong performance.
Yeah, it's really good. The girls are showing in, week out, which is good. Never put on a slow display, which is nice. Yeah, the girls are doing really, really well. As Gabby said, just taking every game as it comes and, smashing it.
It's been a really impressive season so far. Last year you finished third on the ladder and you just missed out in that preliminary final. What do you think sort of brought about the improvement this season, going 11-0?
Yeah, I think we're taking every game as it comes. We've really worked on our fitness this year, so I think that probably let us down last season a bit. And just having a few more strict rules at training and just making sure everyone's up and about. So yeah.
Well, I wasn't around last season, but my first season in, I think I've been around this club my whole life, so everyone's really taking accountability for each other. We've got our fitness really up, which is good, which is shown on the field, and we're just taking every week as it comes. There's no, poor performers. Like, we're all just taking every opposition as we've never played them before and just trying new things, which is good.
What were some of the tactics spoken about ahead of today's game?
We really wanted to work on our handball receives, so taking those marks, having that quick 5-second back, and then having those runners run past and get those handballs received, and also just lowering our eyes into the forward 50 entries, which I feel like we did a good job.
Yeah, and I think our midfield is really honing in on doing some set-up plays. We didn't really have a lot of that last year, so just fine-tuning those skills.
Girls have been told to ask, you have recently taken on the role as aunties. What has that entailed so far?
No dirty nappies, which is great. Lots of cuddles, and it's been really, really great. It's been the best best gift this year.
Yeah. No, he's good, little Lennox. He's just over there, actually. But no, it's good. Like Emerson said, lots of cuddles, but as soon as he cries or a dirty nappy, I just hand him straight back to Alex and Nels. So, yeah, that's not on my agenda.
Nels did mention he's been quite popular around the club. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, lots of cuddles.
Gabby, I wanted to ask you something specifically. Of course, netball, you're more of a defender, but footy, you're actually one of the leading goal scorers. How exactly does that work, being an attacker for footy but a defender for netball?
Well, I've been a defender for footy my whole life. I've played since I was about 13, and it's just this year I've become a forward, which is just on Pooh. I think he just said, where do you want to play? And I said, I've never played forward before. We'll give it a shot. I've had a go in there, here and there, but ruck forward is my position this year. Very different to what I'm used to. Yep. But it's good fun. I mean, getting on the scoreboard, never really done that before, so it's quite nice to be up there with the goal kickers.
And how do you go about managing the workload between playing footy and netball?
It's good. Like, I think today I've played in the morning. I always manage sort of how much ground time I get when we're coming up a good opposition against Seville, but luckily today I'm playing around 1:10, so I get a good feed in, good rest, but just keep going. Just the adrenaline runs all day for me. So.
Yep. And Emerson, there's been a few new recruits this season that have sort of been running through that midfield with yourself. How have you found that bond with those new players?
It's been really great. We have a really strong midfield, and Scarlett and Rubes coming across from Monbulk, which is really unfortunate for Monbulk, but for them to come to us has been really, really good. We're getting link up and we're really strong across the whole ground, so it's been really great.
Gabby Emerson, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for fantasy football and netball. We are getting really close to completing our teams, which will then go out on socials for people to, of course, vote for which team they like better. But for now, we need to choose a goalkeeper for our netball teams. So who have you gone with?
I've retained another player from last year, Steph, and you don't look too happy about it, but I couldn't go past Caitlin Black, to be perfectly honest. Her career just speaks for itself, really. Premiership player. She's multiple League B and Fs, plenty of VNL experience as well. Just such a smart netballer. She almost, I just reckon, has a sixth sense for where opposition mid-quarters are going to try and place the ball or feed the ball to opposition goals, and she's just always there to cut everything off. She uses her height really, really well. Her positioning in the goal circle, second to none. So it was just so hard to go past KB again. Had to have her on my side.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't think you're going to be happy about this. I've done something a little bit cheeky this week. So a couple of weeks ago, I picked Eliza Molino to be my goal defence.
Yep.
This week, I want to move her to goalkeeper so I can put Ally Langdon from Warburton Millgrove
You stole from me
in
from
goal
last year.
defence. So I just think, they're both very strong players. They can probably both play either position, but I do think Eliza's probably stronger as a keeper if I want to have Ally Langdon in the team. So I'm moving her into the goal defence position and moving Eliza back to goalkeeper. They're obviously both in the 23 and under side with Northeast Blaze. I'm really excited to have both those girls in my team.
No, fair enough, Steph. I can see you thinking there.
All right, let's go to women's footy now. We are picking 2 people for the bench in the first instance. There will be more to come. But for now, who are your first 2 on the interchange bench?
We've gone with Jess Burrow and Orla Murray, both from Seville. They've both featured in the team of the week a couple of times this season. Probably going to rotate them through the forward line and the midfield. Both having really strong seasons. Obviously, Seville have had a bit of a tough year, but these 2 have definitely been 2 of the standout players from that Blues side. So, got to put them in got to start them on the interchange bench.
Nice. Okay, well, I have gone with Jess Okapinti from Upwey Tacoma. She was a league best and fairest winner last year. She's obviously very good on the run, kicks a lot of goals, is very fast-paced. So I think she'll be good to rotate through my forward line.
It's strange that we've let us hit this late, to be perfectly honest.
I know. I was shocked too. I was looking through and I was like, oh my God, Jess. Potentially through my midfield as well, if I need a bit of run through there as well, she can play there. My other selection, Kiara Shea Ryan Bader from Wandon. She is definitely an up-and-comer. She's joined Wandon this year after her older sister had been playing with the team. She's made Team of the Week a couple of times. She's even been captain of Team of the Week already, which is pretty impressive for your first season. What I like about her is the same sort of thing. She could play centre-half forward. She could also rotate through the mid, so I think she's quite versatile. And I'm just really excited to see how she kind of progresses. If this is what she's like in her first season, I can only imagine when she's got a couple under her belt how great she's going to be. So, all right, men's footy. Who have you gone with?
Firstly, I'm going to change bench, gone with Tom Baker of Warburton Millgrove. Had a good look at him on Saturday, but this season averaging 31 disposals, including 11 contested possessions, 5 clearances, 9 score involvements. Very good in the middle. Also can bob up and kick a couple of goals as well, so really hard to go past him. Cam Evans going to be my backup ruckman from Monbulk, and I would know from my own personal experience having to ruck against him on pre-season back in the footy days when I used to play how good he is. He's so strong, he's so crafty. This season averaging 36 hit-outs, including 8 to advantage. He's second in hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage, only behind Jake Gaines from Officer. 23 disposals, 6 score involvements. And just a really smart footballer, so had to have Cam in my side, along as Tom Baker to start off my interchange bench.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I've also gone with someone that we got a good look at on the weekend, and that's Lockie Hewitt from Warburton Millgrove. I was really impressed with him. I think, again, another young up-and-comer. He's only made Team of the Week once. Having seen his performance on the weekend, I'm surprised it's only been once, to be honest. But there's so many strong players in that Warby side, it is hard to sort of share that around. But yeah, really impressive. Couple of goals, good run.
Usually a very reliable set shot, I will say too. Probably didn't actually have his best week on Saturday, but in other games I've seen him, he's usually very reliable in front of goals. So,
yeah. So I've gone with Lockie, and then my other pick, and I know he didn't play on the weekend, but Jack Nolan from Seville, another one I'm surprised has not been picked this far along, but obviously can play ruck, can play down forward, is a captain, so just has those good leadership skills, which I think
predominantly a key defender, really. He's been thrust into the ruck this season.
He's been thrown everywhere, really.
So, no, a player, can probably play all ends of the ground, really, when you think about it.
And probably, to be honest, I think when I was thinking about my team, they're probably at the moment a little bit on the shorter side. So to have Jack Nolan, who's on the taller side, I think is a good addition. So, yeah.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all there is to talk about on the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball Show this week. Remember, if there's anything you'd like to see in the show, make sure you leave a comment down below. Steph, thank you again for joining me in the studio.
No worries at all.
For all the viewers out there, don't forget to get your game face on.